Have you ever felt lost in a labyrinth of spiritual confusion? If so, know that you're not alone. Many of us face challenges on our journey to find inner peace and spiritual growth. But what if I told you there's a map to avoid the obstacles that can steer us away from the path of enlightenment? Imagine yourself navigating turbulent waters without a lighthouse to guide your way. But don't worry, because I'm here to offer a compass for your heart and mind. On this journey, we will explore the 7 pitfalls that can lead us astray from our true essence, but also discover together how to overcome them and move towards peace and self-awareness. Get ready for an exciting adventure in search of true spiritual enlightenment. But before that, just make sure you're subscribed to the channel, because the next videos will be a series of content that will help you improve your spiritual life. Negative thinking and self-talk. Imagine you have a little monster inside your head, and this monster likes to whisper bad things to you. It says things like, "You're not good enough," or "You'll never be able to do this." This monster is called negative thinking. Every time you listen to and believe what it says, you feel sad and discouraged, as if you're carrying a heavy weight on your shoulders. But here's the secret. You have the power to confront this monster. First, you need to notice when it's talking. It can be a bit tricky at first because it likes to hide in your everyday thoughts. So every time you feel like you're thinking something bad about yourself, stop for a moment and ask yourself, is this true? Many times, you'll realize it's not. Once, a boy named Lucas had a negative thinking monster that always said he wasn't good at soccer. Lucas believed it so much that he started avoiding playing with his friends. One day, he told his grandmother about the monster. She said, "Lucas, every time you hear that monster, imagine you have a magic flashlight. Turn on that flashlight and look closely at the monster. Ask if what it says is really true." Lucas started doing that. When the monster said he was bad at soccer, Lucas thought, "Is that true? Maybe I just need to practice more." And he started training every day. Gradually, he improved and started having fun playing soccer. Another way to chase away the monster is to be kind to yourself, like you would to a friend. If a friend made a mistake in a game, you wouldn't say bad things to them, right? You would say, "It's okay, you'll get better." Do that for yourself. Every time you catch yourself thinking something negative, replace it with something positive. Instead of, "I never do anything right," think, "I'm learning and improving every day." And you know what else helps? Being thankful for the good things you have. Every night before bed, think of 3 good things that happened in your day. It could be something simple like playing with your dog or eating a delicious ice cream. When you do this, you start to see more good things around you, and the negative thinking monster gets weaker and weaker. Remember, you are in control. With mindfulness, kindness to yourself, and gratitude, you can turn negative thinking into thoughts of hope and joy. So let's turn on our magic flashlights and show those monsters who's boss. Attachment to material possessions. Imagine you have a magic box that can store all your favorite toys. The box keeps getting fuller, and although you have many amazing toys, you realize you can't play with all of them at once. Sometimes, you become so focused on acquiring more toys that you forget to enjoy the ones you already have. That's attachment to material possessions. Let's hear Sophia's story. She loved dolls and always wanted the newest and shiniest ones. Every time she saw a new doll in the store, she felt like she needed to have it to be happy. So she would ask her parents to buy it, and soon her collection grew so large that there was no more space in her room. But the more dolls Sophia had, the less she played with them. She was always eyeing the next doll. One day, Sophia's mother suggested a different game. She proposed that Sophia choose her favorite dolls and donate the others to children who didn't have any. At first, Sophia found it hard because she felt like each doll was special, but she decided to give it a try. As she chose and donated some dolls, something magical happened. She began to feel a greater joy than getting a new doll. Sophia learned that true happiness didn't come from having many things, but from valuing and taking good care of what she already possessed. And more importantly, by sharing her dolls, she made new friends and discovered that playing with friends was much more fun than having a bunch of toys she didn't even use. When we become too attached to our possessions, we can forget what truly makes us happy. experiences, friendships, and special moments. It's like carrying a backpack full of rocks. These rocks represent all the things we think we need to be happy. But when we start taking some rocks out, we realize the backpack becomes lighter and we can move more freely. To help overcome attachment to material possessions, we can do some simple things. First, every time you feel like you need something new, stop and think if you really need it or if you already have something similar. Second, practice gratitude. Look around and see all the wonderful things you already have. Third, share with others. This can be as simple as lending a book or giving away a toy you no longer use. Remember Sophia. By sharing and valuing what she already had, she found much greater happiness. So, by taking good care of what you already possess and by sharing with others, you will discover that true wealth lies in the moments, experiences, and connections you create, not just in the things you own. Identification with the ego. Imagine that within each of us there's a small mask we wear to show to others. That mask is our ego, and sometimes it makes us believe that we need to be better or have more than others to be happy. The ego likes to compete and compare, saying things like, "I'm smarter," or "I need to be number one." But the ego is just a mask, not who we really are. Let's listen to Pedro's story. He was an excellent student and always got the best grades in school. Everyone praised Pedro, and he felt very special because of it. But at the same time, Pedro was afraid of failing. He thought that if he wasn't the best, no one would like him. So he studied all the time and didn't allow himself to play or relax. One day, Pedro's teacher organized a drawing competition. Pedro wasn't good at drawing, and this made him very anxious. He thought, "If I don't win, everyone will think I'm a failure." In the end, Pedro didn't win the contest, and he felt very sad and ashamed. But something unexpected happened. His friends came to him saying that his drawing was very creative and that they wanted to learn to draw together. Pedro realized that his friends liked him not because he was the best, but because he was himself. He began to understand that he didn't need to be perfect or always win to be loved. He discovered that he could take off the ego mask and still be accepted and loved for who he really was. To free ourselves from the ego, we can start by observing our thoughts and emotions. When you notice that you're comparing or competing, remember Pedro's story and ask yourself, does this really matter? Who am I without this mask? Over time, you'll discover that the answer lies in your heart, not in your head. Another way to overcome identification with the ego is to practice humility. Humility doesn't mean thinking less of yourself, but rather thinking less about yourself. It means looking at others with empathy and compassion, recognizing that everyone has their own struggles and victories. Additionally, we can practice presence. When we're fully present in the moment, we're not concerned about what others think or what we need to prove. We're simply living and appreciating life as it is. Meditation and deep breathing are great ways to help us stay present. Remember, the ego is just a mask we use to protect ourselves, but our true essence is much more beautiful and powerful. Just like Pedro, when we take off that mask and show who we really are, we find a joy and connection that are much deeper than any external victory or achievement. So, have you ever experienced any anti-spiritual feelings? Have you had any experiences with this or heard any friends or family talk about it? Leave a comment. We'll respond to all. Resistance to change. Imagine life is like a river that's always flowing. Sometimes the river changes direction and the water finds new paths. If we try to hold on to the water and stop it from flowing, we end up getting stuck and can't move forward. Resistance to change is like trying to stop the river with our hands. It's impossible and prevents us from discovering new possibilities. Let's hear Anna's story. She loved her school and her friends, but one day her parents said the family was moving to another city. Anna was very scared. She didn't want to leave everything she knew behind. On the first day at the new school, Anna felt lonely and sad. She thought, "I'll never adapt. I want to go back to my old school." But then something unexpected happened. Anna met a girl named Laura, who became her best friend. Laura showed Anna all the cool places in the new city and invited her to play at her house. Gradually, Anna began to realize that change wasn't so scary after all. She discovered new hobbies, made new friends, and realized that the new city had a lot to offer. Anna's story teaches us that although change can be scary, it also brings new opportunities and experiences that can surprise us in wonderful ways. When we resist change, we miss the chance to grow and learn new things. But when we accept and embrace change, we can discover a world full of possibilities. To deal with resistance to change, we can start by practicing flexibility. Instead of focusing on what we're leaving behind, we can concentrate on what's to come. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this new experience? How can it help me grow? Try to see change as an adventure, full of new discoveries and opportunities. Another important step is to trust yourself and your abilities. Remember the times you overcame challenges in the past and use those memories as a reminder that you can handle new situations. Believe that even though things may be different, you have the strength and wisdom to adapt and thrive. Additionally, cultivating an open mindset can be very helpful. This means being willing to try new things and seeing changes as chances for learning. It can be useful to practice curiosity, exploring new activities, places, and ideas with enthusiasm. Finally, it's important to be patient with yourself. Changes can be difficult and take time to get used to. Give yourself the time needed to adapt and be kind to yourself throughout the process. Unresolved trauma and emotional baggage. Certain events in our lives leave deep scars, laden with unresolved emotions. These unprocessed feelings can create a sort of invisible weight that we carry with us, affecting our well-being and our ability to live fully. When we experience traumatic situations, whether they are physical, emotional, or psychological, it's common to try to suppress or ignore the pain. However, these feelings don't simply disappear. They lodge themselves within us, creating patterns of behavior and emotional responses that can harm us in the long run. This emotional baggage can manifest as anxiety, depression, relationship difficulties, or even physical problems. To begin addressing these traumas, it's crucial to recognize and accept our emotions. Denying or avoiding what we feel only increases the power of these emotions over us. Acceptance means allowing ourselves to feel the sadness, anger, fear, or any other emotion that is present without judgment. An important step is to talk about our experiences. Talking to a trusted friend, family member, or professional can help externalize these feelings. Therapy is a valuable tool in this process, offering a safe space to explore and understand our emotions. Techniques such as cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, or eye movement, desensitization and reprocessing, EMDR, are particularly effective in trauma treatment. Additionally, self-care practices can aid in managing emotional baggage. Activities such as meditation, yoga, and breathing exercises help calm the mind and body, promoting a sense of safety and tranquility. Keeping a journal can also be an effective way to process emotions, allowing for ongoing reflection on our feelings and progress. Another important aspect is physical self-care. Regular exercise, healthy eating, and adequate sleep contribute to overall well-being and help strengthen emotional resilience. The body and mind are interconnected, and caring for one can have positive effects on the other. Accepting that healing is a process and not a single event is crucial. Allow yourself small steps and celebrate each progress, no matter how small. Recognizing one's own strength and resilience in dealing with past traumas can be deeply transformative. By confronting and processing our traumas and emotional baggage, we free ourselves from the weight we carry, making room for a fuller and healthier life. We learn to live more authentically, with greater compassion for ourselves and others, and develop a greater ability to face the challenges that life presents us. Keep having great anti-spiritual insights, but I noticed you haven't liked the video yet, which is very important for YouTube to deliver our content and continue helping you. So, go ahead and leave a like on this video. It's free. Judgment and intolerance. In the spiritual journey, judgment and intolerance are like barriers that separate us from others and from ourselves. When we judge, we create a division, believing that we are superior or that others are inferior because of their choices, appearances, or beliefs. This attitude not only hurts others but also limits our own growth and understanding. Judgment can arise in various forms. Criticizing someone for their way of dressing, their religious beliefs, their lifestyle, or even their life choices. When we judge, we are projecting our own insecurities and fears onto others, creating a distance that prevents us from seeing the humanity and beauty in each individual. To overcome judgment and intolerance, the first step is to cultivate empathy. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of others. When we try to see the world through someone else's eyes, we begin to realize that everyone has their own struggles and challenges. This understanding can transform our judgment into compassion. Practicing acceptance is another way to combat judgment. Acceptance means recognizing and respecting the differences of others without trying to change them. This doesn't mean we have to agree with everything or accept harmful behaviors, but rather that we should acknowledge the dignity and worth of every human being. A useful technique is the practice of open-mindedness. This involves challenging our own prejudices and trying to understand where our opinions come from. Ask yourself, why do I think this way? Is this thought fair? Often we discover that our judgments are based on misunderstandings or incomplete information. Loving kindness meditation, or metta, can also help cultivate an attitude of acceptance and compassion. This practice involves wishing well for oneself and others, even those with whom we have difficulties. By repeating phrases like, "May I be happy," "May I be at peace," and then, "May all beings be happy," "May all beings be at peace," we begin to soften our hearts and make room for more love and less judgment. Another way to reduce judgment is through serving others. By engaging in volunteer activities or helping others, we begin to see people in a more humane way. Helping those in need reminds us that we are all connected and that each of us deserves respect and dignity. Finally, it's important to remember that we are all on a learning path. Nobody is perfect, and we all make mistakes. When we accept this in ourselves, we become more capable of forgiving and accepting the mistakes of others. By letting go of judgment and intolerance, we open our hearts to the diversity and richness of the human experience. This not only makes us better people, but also contributes to a more just and loving world. Instead of building walls of separation, we can build bridges of understanding and compassion, creating a fuller and spiritually enriched life. Spiritual disconnection. Spiritual disconnection is like feeling lost in a sea of uncertainties, without a guiding light to show the way. It's a sense of emptiness, of not knowing where we belong or what our purpose in life is. When we are spiritually disconnected, we lose touch with our deepest essence and with the source of meaning and inspiration. This disconnection can manifest in various ways: feeling empty inside, questioning the purpose of life, or feeling disconnected from others and the world around us. It can occur during times of crisis or change, when we feel lost or confused about who we are and where we are going. To overcome spiritual disconnection, it's important to reconnect with oneself and with something greater than ourselves. One way to do this is through the practice of meditation and inner reflection. By taking time for stillness and introspection, we can reconnect with our inner wisdom and find answers to our deepest questions. Another approach is to seek inspiration in nature and the world around us. Spending time outdoors, admiring the beauty of a sunset, or listening to the gentle sound of ocean waves can remind us that we are part of something larger and more magnificent than we can imagine. Studying spiritual and religious philosophies can also be helpful in finding meaning and purpose. By exploring different spiritual traditions, we can discover teachings and practices that resonate with us and help us find deeper meaning in life. Additionally, cultivating meaningful relationships can help fill the void of disconnection. Spending time with friends and loved ones who support and accept us as we are can help us feel more connected and loved. Service to others can also be a powerful way to overcome spiritual disconnection. By helping those in need, we find a purpose greater than ourselves and connect with the compassion and generosity that reside in all human beings. Finally, it's important to remember that the spiritual journey is unique to each person. and that there is no right or wrong path to reconnecting. What's important is to be open and receptive to the opportunities for growth and transformation that arise on our path. By acknowledging and addressing spiritual disconnection, we can begin to rebuild the bridge between ourselves and the divine. As we reconnect with our true essence and with the world around us, we find a renewed sense of purpose, meaning, and fulfillment in our lives. And now you might be wondering, what if everything I've ever believed about God was also a lie? Get ready, because in the next episode we'll explore how the truth about God can be even more shocking than we imagined. Stay tuned, because what you'll discover may make your heart beat faster and the hair on the back of your neck stand up. Click right now on the video on the end screen. That's where you'll discover how the truth about God can be more surprising than you ever imagined. Don't waste time. Click and embark on this journey with us.